Net neutrality. This issue has far-reaching repercussions. It is one of the most important issues domestically going on right now when it comes to media openness, internet freedom, equality when it comes to dissemination of information. I mean, this is just such a far-reaching issue. And if you care at all about independent media, the news media reporting what people are told, then net neutrality has to be an issue that you're paying attention to. And the latest news is that the FCC, so to backtrack, last week we told you about how the FCC put together a new plan regarding net neutrality or internet freedom. The FCC chairman right now is Tom Wheeler. Tom Wheeler is a former cable lobbyist, so that's a segment right there, just talking about that. But we'll just mention that and continue. The FCC and Tom Wheeler's new plan is that they want to preserve internet openness, but at the same time, they wanted to allow certain providers to offer faster service for certain websites or platforms. This doesn't mean, the argument was, we're not going to slow down anybody. We're just going to allow extra payment for faster access to certain platforms, which practically speaking is the exact same thing, right, Lewis? You're creating a difference, a discrepancy. You're creating a preference, and it is based on price. Fine, you're not slowing anyone down, but it's practically speaking the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it essentially works the same way. So if you don't go with company A who's offering Netflix at a faster speed, well, if you're with any other company, you're getting Netflix at a slower speed, and that's just kind of obnoxious.
So obviously this created a huge backlash, and people, pro-net neutrality advocates were against this, congressmen were against this, major tech firms were against this. Everybody who understood that this actually is against internet freedom and was clearly thinking about it was against it. So because of the backlash, Wheeler decided to signal his intention to back down. The Wall Street Journal reports that the FCC is, quote, revising the proposed rules for regulating broadband internet, including offering assurances that they won't allow companies to segregate web traffic into fast and slow lanes. But when you actually look at this change, so-called change, it's not clear anything has truly been revised. Wheeler has indicated that he has an intention to back down. That doesn't mean that he actually is, and the Journal sources say that the newest plan from former cable lobbyist turned FCC chairman Tom Wheeler is, quote, sticking to the same approach, but including language that would make it clear that the FCC will scrutinize deals to make sure that the broadband providers don't unfairly put non-paying companies' content at a disadvantage. In other words, ISPs can still strike deals with the big players like Google, like Netflix, but the FCC is allowed to scrutinize the deal to make sure that other companies who aren't paying aren't being slowed down. This is identical to the original proposal, Lewis. All they're saying is they're going to have oversight to determine whether anybody's being slowed down, but this is exactly the same thing. Big companies can pay for faster access.
Right, as if the lobbying hasn't worked already for these big companies. Now they're going to, now the FCC is going to look over every specific deal, and this just really opens up the floodgates.
Comcast and Time Warner and all these companies, they're all donating to the Congress people who will ultimately decide on the Comcast-Time Warner merger. They're all wrapped up in this. We've got a former cable lobbyist running the FCC, but rest assured, everybody, Tom Wheeler is going to make sure that the FCC can check in and make sure everything that's happening is cool. You have to get active on this. You have to call. You can call or email the FCC. I recommend calling. If you want to email openinternet@fcc.gov, okay? I suggest you call. The number is 1-888-225-5322. You want to get to an operator. Depending on what experience you have, some people say that hitting 1, 4, then 0 on the phone tree gets you to a person. Some say 1, 3, then 0. Some say just start hitting 0 like a madman as soon as the answering machine comes on. Someone will answer. They'll ask for your name and address. You can just give them a zip code if you want, and then say, I'm calling to ask the FCC to reclassify internet service providers as Title II common carriers. That's it. Be polite. They will take it down and they will send the message in. We just have to get active on this, Lewis. This is a huge, huge deal, and so many different things depend on this.
Right. It's really unfortunate that the lobbying has worked so incredibly well. It's just big business as usual. Money always wins, it seems.
This is viewer-supported independent media. Please support our program by going to davidpakman.com/membership and becoming a member today.